It has only been a few days since the major East vs West 3 event ended, and Engin Terzi has already announced 12 super matches for his upcoming East vs West 4 event that will be happening on 6th of August this year. Welcome to the video, Arm Wrestling fans. I'm Pradeep from Arm Wrestling News. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do so right now. We are going to discuss all of the 12 matches that Engin has announced in brief. So let's start with the details that are not related to the matches first, not related to the 12 matches, and these are going to be very interesting. Ryan Bowen versus Engin Terzi will not be happening because Engin has said many times that it is really difficult for him to compete in an event that he is himself organizing. He is doing all the logistics, everything. So it is really difficult, really a big burden on him to compete at the same time. He did that at his first event and he got injured against Artur Makarov. So Ryan Bowen versus Engin Terzi will not be happening. Ermes Gasparini. Engin wanted Ermes to pull Dave Chaffee. It would have been an amazing match. But Ermes Gasparini will not be coming to East vs West 4 because the amount of money that he was asking, Engin was not able to fulfill that. Engin told us that he was asking for 60% more compared to the last time. And to be honest, Ermes deserves it. I think he has grown his personality, his social media presence by at least 100% since then. Because he is the one, despite not knowing English very well, who carries the press conference forward, who carries the entire conversation forward. He's really explosive, energetic at the table, and really charismatic off the table as well. So the Ermes Gasparini stocks rising does not surprise me at all. Michael Todd wanted to pull Alex Kurdecha. That match is also not going to happen because Alex cannot get leave from his work. Matt Mask will not be competing because he has recently quit smoking and he wants to test out the results for a longer period of time. He wants to get really strong before he competes once again. And this time there will be replays, which was missing from the previous event. Music, entrance music, which is also very important. And despite Core Sports telling Engin that the internet in Turkey is fine, internet in the hotel is fine, there will still be a satellite internet car for the seamless experience of the viewers. So hopefully no stream lags this time. With that being said, let's start with the matches. Match number 1. These are not necessarily in order, but in the order that Engin Terzi announced them. Coach Ray, Raymond Leipinch versus Ryan Blue Bowen with a weight cap of 90 kilos. Weight cap, I believe, is really important in this match because Coach Ray is naturally a smaller human being. He walks around 87-88 kilos and Ryan Bowen walks around 93-94 kilos. So I'm quite sure that Ryan will be cutting a lot of weight for this match. Still, I would favor Ryan Bowen in this match, and before I tell you why, we need to know that they were supposed to pull each other about 2 years ago also, but for many reasons these two cannot compete against each other. Then Ryan Bowen got bigger and this match started making less sense because there was a time when Ryan Bowen was around 100 kilos and Coach Ray less than 90 kilos. So that match at that time did not make much sense. And there is one thing for sure, that these guys are going to promote it really well. Ryan Bowen is going to promote the event more than anyone else except Engin Terzi. He's really good at doing that. So I believe that every weapon that Coach Ray has, Ryan Bowen has slightly better. Coach Ray usually loses his first rounds and then comes back later on. Ryan Bowen does the same thing as well. Coach Ray wins by tiring his opponents out in the first 2 or 3 rounds. He cannot do that to Ryan Bowen. Usually in the later rounds he top rolls, but I don't think he can top roll Ryan Bowen. So I'm not saying there is a huge gap between these two, but there is a very small gap in all the fields, in the hook, in the top roll department, in the endurance department as well probably. So this is why I believe that Ryan Bowen should win this match comfortably. Coming to the next match, Big Dave Chaffee Easy Money versus Artyom Steel Morozov. Artyom Morozov is turning out to be a beast. He's only 24 years old, and by the way he handled Derek Smith at the last event, it just amazed everyone. And he's about 6'4", 6'5", already around 270 pounds, lean muscle. That guy has a more brighter future than I believe anyone else right now. So Dave Chaffee versus Morozov. Can Morozov do the unimaginable and beat the legend Dave Chaffee? I don't think he's ready yet. Because yes, he showed dominance against Derek Smith, but he also lost to EVGENY Prudnik, who was less than 110 kilos, and that was not long ago, 3 months ago I think. So if the same guy shows up, he's not going to have a chance against Dave Chaffee. And if the guy who defeated Derek Smith shows up, he still may not have a chance against Dave Chaffee. His only chance will be to bleed Dave Chaffee out in the first 2 rounds. So I think that is going to be a really tough battle for Morozov. Definitely his most difficult and biggest match of his career. Let's see if he can do the unthinkable. Moving to the next match. Oleg Zhokh versus David Dadikyan. David Dadikyan is a beast right now. Left-handed, I believe he's definitely top 10 in the world overall. I'm not talking about his weight division. So this is going to be a left-handed title match. And the weight cap for this match is going to be 102 kilos. Oleg Zhokh confirmed to Engin Terzi that he will be able to travel outside of his country, Ukraine, despite the war going on, because he can get a special clearance despite being in a certain age that is required to stay at the country to fight the war for his country. So I believe, Engin believes that he can travel and this match will happen. I've made a video about this. I have David Dadikyan as the favorite winning this match. Oleg Zhokh used to be a beast back in 2018. He still is, don't get me wrong. But in 2018, I believe he was number 3 in the world overall. Right now, I think he is definitely number 10. I think he can be top 10 still. But I don't think he's top 5, anywhere near that. So with that being said, David Dadikyan is the favorite. Next match, Egle Vaitkute versus Gabriella Vasconcelos. The women's title match. GOAT versus GOAT. Gabriella with the most female or male WAF titles, world championships in the world, whatever you want to call it. And Egle also has more than 20 world championships. So definitely GOAT versus GOAT match. I think just because of the recent activeness, Gabriella should be the favorite in this match, despite being the heavy underdog against Egle. If Egle is in the form that he used to be 5, 6, 10 years ago, she should still be able to beat Gabriella. But I haven't seen her recently compete. Maybe I saw her in 2017, but not after that. So Sandris Sedis versus Lachlan Adair. Engin Terzi set up this match about 3 months ago I would say. This is going to be one of the most interesting match on the card for me personally. Just based on experience, Sandris Sedis from Latvia should be the favorite in this match. And by the way, this is the second Latvia versus Australia match. First one was Coach Ray versus Ryan Bowen. So Sandris should be the favorite because of Lachlan Adair's inexperience at the world elite level. He hasn't traveled much in the past, and Sandris has been winning European championships. I think he has already won 2 of them. The big question is going to be, can Lachlan Adair force Sandris in a hook 3 times? If it goes anywhere near a hook, I think it is over for Sandris. The match is going to go to Australia. But the big question is, and I think, I'm not quite sure, but I think Sandris will be able to keep Lachlan out of his hook and beat him. Let's move on to the next match. Todd Hutchings versus EVGENY Prudnik, 110 kilos title match. So this is going to be a huge popularity match. Amazing hype in this match. The polls are already telling us that Todd Hutchings is the 70% favorite in this match. But I believe that the poll result is showing the recent dominance and popularity of Todd Hutchings, because there is absolutely no way that Prudnik can be an underdog against Todd Hutchings. I think Prudnik has got Todd beat in all the games except for a slow hook, and even if it goes to a slow hook, I believe Prudnik is strong enough to roll out of Todd Hutchings' hook, do a can opener on him and beat him. I'm not quite sure if Todd Hutchings can slip against Prudnik, and Prudnik is explosive if he wants to. Recently, he has not been showing that. He has only been catching people, or maybe he's facing people like Tobias who are really fast themselves. Maybe that is why he's catching. But Todd Hutchings is not really that fast. So I believe that Prudnik is a very heavy favorite in this match, and if Todd Hutchings is able to get 1 pin on him, I will be surprised to see that. So next up, Corey Miller versus Daniel Procopcuic. This, I believe, is one of the biggest mismatches on this card. Because first, Engin wanted Daniel Procopcuic to face Bojidar. Then for some reason that match cannot happen. And now Corey Miller versus Daniel Procopcuic. Although Engin promised that Bojidar will also be getting a match at this event, which has not been announced yet. But Corey Miller versus Daniel Procopcuic. Corey Miller recently lost 3-1 to Giannis Omolins. So that kind of tells us where his level is at the world level. Slightly below Giannis Omolins. And right now, I don't think Giannis has anything for Daniel Procopcuic. I don't think he can beat Daniel right now. This match is going to be at 80 kilos weight cap. Daniel is someone who competes at 75, but he can easily bulk up to 80 kilos. So Corey Miller is not going to have the weight advantage in this match. With that being said, I think it is a big mismatch. Daniel is one of the world's best, along with Bojidar, at stopping top rollers. And Daniel doesn't even need his wrist to win that match. He can just jam his elbow and Corey can try as much as he wants. Although I know Corey is really explosive. Maybe he can shock Daniel just like he shocked Giannis Omolins in round 1. But even that is going to be really difficult. I'm going with Daniel Procopcuic 3-0 in this match. Then we have Krasimir Kostadinov versus Irakli ZIRAKASHVILI. So both of them lost their recent matches at the previous East versus West 3 event. And good to see that finally Krasi is once again competing with guys who weigh somewhere similar to his own weight, around 102-103 kilos. Irakli is yet to show his caliber at this new 100 kg body weight that he is carrying for quite some time right now. At 90 kilos, he lost 5-1 to Sasha Andreev. Then he defeated the American Daniel Mosier, but that we cannot count it as a really major world level win. Then at 100 kilos, he lost to Todd Hutchings. So he is yet to prove himself. And on the other hand, we have Krasimir Kostadinov, the Bulgarian, who is a legend at that weight. And he has won in the super heavyweights also. So Krasi, I believe, just because he's so much battle tested and so much greater at stopping the top roll, which Irakli is going to attempt on him, I believe that Krasimir should win this match 3-0 very comfortably. Marcio BARBOZA versus Zurab Tavbaridze. Again, I'm going to favor Marcio heavily in this match because I know Zurab has a great hook. He has caused trouble to many people with this hook. Even John Brzezinski was struggling in Zurab's hook. But Marcio, I believe he can match Zurab in the hook as well. In the beginning rounds, he is going to take his hand, then he's going to bleed him out. Maybe he cannot finish Zurab in the beginning rounds because Zurab is going to jam his elbow and apply side pressure like he does always. So maybe he cannot finish him in the beginning rounds. But even after tiring his hand, I believe Marcio can jump straight in a hook with Zurab and he can match him in a hook as well. So this is why I believe Marcio has got all the spots covered against Zurab Tavbaridze, and Marcio for me should be a really heavy favorite to win this match. So I'm going with 3-0 Marcio Barboza. Cody Merritt versus Artyom Morozov, the left-handed super heavyweight title match. So this match was supposed to happen at East versus West 2 event, but then Cody Merritt was not healthy. His left arm was not feeling well and I think he got COVID as well. So he dropped out of that match. So this match is happening once again. Cody Merritt, as we all know, he won the WAF championship. I think he got tested for drugs after that, so maybe he lost it. But that shows his level. He's really great. And in North America right now, there is nobody near his level. Maybe Devon Led can give some trouble to him, but I would have Cody as the favorite in this match right now, especially in 5-round match, not a 6-round super match. So Cody Merritt versus Artyom Morozov. That I think can be a really close match. And man, I'm struggling to give any predictions on this after seeing Artyom Morozov kind of dominate Matt Mask. And I'm not saying that is a huge deal, but still Matt Mask is a good left-hander. And before that, I would have easily said Cody Merritt, but right now, I'm not so sure about that. So let's see how that match goes. And then we have Jerry Big Daddy Cadorette versus Genadi KVIKVINIA, the title match. So why is this the title match? Jerry has not competed in last 4 years, but Jerry is the best representative left that Genadi has not defeated yet. Devon is not going to compete at East versus West anytime soon. So Genadi has already defeated Michael Todd and who was the other guy? How can I forget this? Dave Chaffee, yeah. Dave Chaffee. So only Jerry Cadorette is left. So I think it is safe to assume that Genadi is already kind of the champion of East versus West and he's just defending his title against Jerry Cadorette, although this is not official. So Neil Pickup also wanted this match for a very long time, and it was almost set for WL, but that cannot happen because WL shut down because of COVID. So just because Neil wanted to see this match, it means that it can be a really close match. And Jerry Cadorette on those 7x7 pads, man, he's really dangerous with his flop press, and he's getting really jacked right now. But Genadi KVIKVINIA, I'm afraid he might be able to match Dave Chaffee right in the center in a hook, in a low grip as well. He does not need to go over the top of Dave Chaffee's, over the top of Jerry's hand. So just based off recent performance and activity, I would favor Genadi in this match. I don't think if he tries to go over Jerry's hand, I don't think he's going to beat him. But inside in a hook, just like Devon did against him in a few rounds, I think Genadi can beat Dave Chaffee. So Kidargali Ongarbayev versus John Brzenk, finally the main event. And talking about main events, people were asking Engin about the main event, and he said that any match that John Brzenk is involved in has to be the main event. So my question to you is, who would you like to see as the main event of this card? I know our opinions may not matter, but if we watched WWE, I know it is a weird example, but in WWE, who is John Brzenk? Of course, The Undertaker. And there were many WrestleManias in which Undertaker competed, but he was rarely the main event. The main event was the title match. So I believe the main event of this card should be Jerry Cadorette versus Genadi KVIKVINIA. Please tell me your thoughts about that as well. I think it is really important. So moving towards the match, Kidargali Ongarbayev, he recently won the Asian Championships and got re-injured. His right shoulder got operated about 7-8 months ago, and then he healed up and re-injured his shoulder. I think it was a shoulder injury once again at the Asian Championships last month. So can he beat John Brzenk? In 2018 or 19, when John was set to pull in top 8 95 kilos, he was a heavy underdog against Kidargali Ongarbayev. Everyone was saying that Kidargali Ongarbayev is going to win that class for sure. But right now, John Brzenk is on a tear. He is making one of the best comebacks that arm wrestling history has ever seen. And Kidargali Ongarbayev is not at his peak form yet, but his friend is telling Engin that he will be in peak form, which everyone says, no surprise in that. Man, if Ongarbayev is able to get back to his previous best shape, I would definitely favor him over John Brzenk, but it is difficult to say. For me right now, that match is slightly in John Brzenk's favor. Let's see how Kidargali trains. If he shows his training videos and he talks to us, maybe more things get cleared, but till then I will have John Brzenk as the favorite in this match. That's it for this video. I apologize, it was a very long video. I will try to increase the speed of my speech a little bit. Till then, subscribe to the channel and bye bye.